I'm Morgan. This is another episode of Open House with Community Media. Today we are at Waldo's. I've got Chris here and Wendy, and we're just going to talk a little bit about what makes them them. So let's just jump right into it. What exactly is Waldo's?
So Waldo's is a nonprofit art space. It's a combination of a lot of things. It's essentially all of our favorite things in one room. We provide art equipment for the public to use, primarily for low-income people to have access to it. So it's a ceramic studio, a darkroom, a trade shop, but it also has a coffee house and a coffee roaster and a gallery, and we throw concerts from time to time. So essentially a lot of things.
It's a lot of things all in one. It's a lot of things. And you guys roast your own beans here, and we are featuring, what did you say this was?
It's a green tea white grape kombucha.
Which is amazing, by the way. Where did the name Waldo's come from?
So we started out of a garage a couple blocks over. It was my art studio. It kind of grew into a thing from there, but it was originally Waldo Pepper's detail shop. So the big garage door that we sat behind, we opened up to the public, that garage door said Waldo right across it.
Oh, nice.
And it's a lot easier just to keep that name instead of applying for a sign permit.
For sure, for sure. That's kind of crazy. And from digging into a little bit of the history, like Waldo's was actually pretty well known around the area, just for his reputation. Let's talk a little bit about that. Like, how did you like redefine what Waldo's was compared to what it once was?
Sure, yeah, I never knew Waldo Pepper. I kind of wish I did. I only knew that he was a real person, I think, when someone told me that he passed. So that was kind of a shame. I wish I'd have met him. But yeah, it was a detail shop. I guess it was kind of open when he felt like it, and had some real characterization around him. But with the new place, I mean, it was essentially just an art studio that was open for a long time. I don't know if it had a name for a couple of years there for a while.
Okay.
But eventually, when we started serving the public or like having concerts, we had to call it something.
Sure.
Yeah. So it was just easier to
call
it what it already was.
Awesome, awesome. What makes Waldo's stand out from the other coffee shops? Like, we are downtown Gettysburg, and there's a lot of options. So, like, what makes you guys stand out from everything else?
I mean, the really big obvious one is that we're a nonprofit art space. You know, we are, of course, we're a coffee house. It feels just like a coffee house, but all of the money that we make over the bar supports the space and allows low-income artists to have access to things. So there's this whole missional aspect to what we're doing that makes sure that people can keep creating. That's a big one. Coming down to like the actual coffee house side, we do roast our own beans. We make everything from scratch. We've been baristas for a long time, so like our syrups are made in-house. We've got a bunch of recipes that we've come up with, so that you get some really unique things here, as well as the mocktail side. So we introduced mocktails a couple years ago now, I think. So in the evenings after 7 p.m. we serve mocktails, really making sure that people under 21 have something to do in the evenings. And that's been a hit. We've really enjoyed that. And secondarily, like, we're open late.
Yeah.
Being open late, people are shocked that we don't open until 10 a.m., but we stay open until 10 p.m.
You know, that's definitely a huge difference. Do you have a favorite drink that you make in-house, whether it's just from the standard coffee bar or the pop shop or the mocktail?
My favorite drinks, I've been a barista for far too long, so my favorite drinks are a little strange. Oh my gosh, yes. So I think currently my favorite drink is, we made one called the Architect, and it was cold brew coffee, cranberry juice, juniper berries, and club soda, and it was, it was really good.
Okay,
but,
intrigued.
You know, I like to push the boundaries a little bit and make some creative options.
Absolutely.
But the chai is amazing, and the coffee,
you
just
guys
cold
were
brew coffee.
roasting the chai one of the first times that I came in here. I didn't know anything about Waldo's. I just kind of, we're discovering more about Gettysburg. You know, I've lived in the area for years, and I'm like, where is Waldo? I'm sure you hear that joke all the time. A common question.
Never say
but
that.
I come in, and it just radiates with chai from the moment that you even open the door, even before. And I'm like, what is this heavenly aroma? Just outstanding. I think the day that I came in, I had ordered your prima donna drink, which for those of you that aren't big coffee drinkers, it is the espresso, which is just bold and beautiful and velvety, little coffee obsessed. And then you've got, I believe, lime juice in it,
Yep.
and then a little bit, was it club soda?
Yep.
So it just aerates the espresso, and it was just on point. Yeah, so you guys definitely have great quality. It's not even that you're just focused on the arts and the community. Like, you guys genuinely care about putting out quality product, and you can see that based on the syrup that you make and the different, menu options that you have. You do partner with some other businesses as well, as far as like where you get like your baked goods, right?
Right. Yeah, we're serving Deja Brew in Oxford. We really wanted to serve some gluten-free options in town because there aren't too many, and they're the best gluten-free option.
They are the best in the area. Yeah. So, what impact do you find yourself as a company having on the community, and what would that look like if Waldo's wasn't here?
Well, hard to say what would it look like if we weren't here, but I will say I think Gettysburg has changed wildly in the last 10 or 15 years, and I think there's been a couple organizations that have just been a part of that. I'm not saying that Waldo's is the sole changer and mover of things, but Gettysburg is incredibly creative now. Adams County is very creative, and I think we tapped into something that was already moving, already kind of going that direction. But we've seen Gettysburg change from like antiques and history to a little bit more in the artistic, creative side, and that's been really fun to see.
It's been really cool. I know, like I said, I grew up in the Gettysburg area, just outside of Gettysburg in Fayetteville, but it's always been history and antiques. And like you said, over the last 5 years, it's been more of a, hey, there's a lot of art, there's a lot of music, there's a lot of photography that's happening, there's a lot of local artists that are being displayed throughout different shops, and just be like, hey, here's our very own Wendy who's got this that she photographed and now it's on a postcard,
Also, the other unique thing that Waldo's has just sort of naturally transpired into, I think that we became a third space long before the trend of a third space existed, and I think some of that stemmed out of the pandemic, where people started working more often from home. So we have a lot of people that are coming in here as a place to connect, to not only be creative, but also to connect to other people. Often on Saturdays, I think a group of people are doing the New York Times crossword puzzle together, and it's a place where college students, high school students, there are people that just come here to read a book every day and just maybe not feel so lonely, or to be able to feel connected. And I think that really is a trend nationally, this idea of third spaces, and we just are one already.
Now, the noise that you guys are hearing right now, where are we exactly? Let's talk a little bit about that. Because, downtown Gettysburg, it's not a ghost in the attic. So, like, where are we?
So our main entrance is actually a back alley entrance, which you experienced when you came here for the first time. And underneath Lark is there's essentially a store above us, which has an entrance on the square. So it sounds a little like you're in the underside of a ship from time to time.
I hadn't thought about that, but absolutely.
It's just people walking above and shopping. But it gives us this kind of like hidden aspect to where we are. Like when you came in here the first time, you have to have this little bit of an adventure to come down the alley and like try this door, and it opens up into this large space, which you don't really expect. So it's kind of a fun aspect of what we are. But yeah, you get used to it.
You can get here from up there also, because
Yes.
there's a stairway, which is just right behind us.
Nice. Now, I don't know if either of you have ever done like geocaching, where you just find like these. So geocaching is, you go on hikes, you go on adventures, and there's going to be these clues and riddles about how to find said item, like a Where's Waldo? And then you have to solve a puzzle in order to find it. I felt like it was like that, trying to discover where you guys were, because I had been to your location once when you were on Stratton, like 10 years ago. And then you moved. I'm like, where did you go? So it was just a hidden gem, such a great thing. And Wendy actually had introduced me, like, whenever I came in, she's like, you're new here. I'm like, is it that obvious? Like, demographics. Let's talk a little bit about your customer base. Like, do you guys have a tendency to see more of like an older crowd or a younger crowd? We're right next to the Gettysburg College, so I imagine you see a lot of college students.
Yeah, and our demographic changes based on the time of year it is. During college season, we have a lot of students in here. But there's the demographic that our coffee shop serves, and there's a demographic that our trade shop or our art stuff serves. Our primarily college students during the season, but we've got a lot of regulars and locals that come in at the same time. And then when college leaves, we have the tourists that come in.
Sure.
Now, we are not a big tourist place.
Okay.
It takes a little extra for tourists to make it in here. I think we don't see all of them. We see a few. We see the adventurous ones.
Oh, yes.
So that's kind of fun. But that does change. So summer is a very different feel than during fall and spring. But then our trade shop, our main idea is to make sure that people of all incomes have access to all of our art equipment and art studios. So all of our stuff is pretty affordable. Our membership is as low as $35 a month, and you can have access to our equipment. So that, serves a wide population. We've got a wide age range. We've got young artists. We've got older artists. We've got retired. We've got just starting out.
So what do you do, speaking of the trade shop, like say somebody comes in, they're in a low income kind of a deal. You guys are very much a like pay what you can afford type of a deal with the coffee bar. What does that look like with your trade shops? Like say somebody's like, I would very much love to do art. I want to get into photography, but I just don't have that. Like, is there anything that I can do?
There are some volunteer opportunities which can help reduce the cost. Now the membership fees that we have are intentionally as low as we've ever seen. Mm-hmm. Like I don't see any other spaces that are offering memberships this low. But you can volunteer, which actually takes some of that off. Cool. So there are ways around some of these things. We want to make sure that people have access.
In the past, we had talked about scholarships. Can we talk a little bit about that? Yeah. All right, let's go about it. What is the scholarship for? What does it cover? How would people contribute towards that? And how do people get access to those scholarships?
Sure. Well, we're currently pursuing a couple grants in order to support these scholarships. I think we have a couple available at the moment, or 3 coming.
In terms of
scholarships,
actual,
yeah.
We have at least 1 or 2, like individual scholarships
available.
I'm spending a lot of time in writing up grants to try to boost that.
So essentially, these are grants that are available for people in mental health services, teachers, people that maybe just need a space to create and connect with the community. So those are going to be available, as soon as we get grants to support that. So they'll be available by application.
Okay.
Is there more like the traditional first responders, education, medical workers, and other, and then people that are underserved. We're hoping to be able to target those folks, and we do have some current members that fit some of that criteria. So we're hoping to further subsidize or give full scholarships when the funds are available to us.
Do you guys have any kind of a referral program? Like say I was one of your artists that was, renting one of your studios, and I go, hey Chris, I got this really talented artist who's a photographer. She wants to get into it. Like, do you guys offer any kind of like a referral program with anything with your membership? Or I don't know if that's something that you've ever thought about, or
Yeah, not really.
No, and that's okay.
Not really.
No.
We've talked a little bit about, maybe we will get into allowing some of our members to have like a friend come in for the day. So like a day rate
Like
for
a
their
guest pass
friends.
kind of a
A
deal.
guest pass deal. So we've talked a little bit about that to get some people in the space. We want more, just really we're trying to pursue all these different ways of making sure that people can get in, see what the space is like, get introduced to it, So that might be one of the ways we pursue.
Yeah. What are some of
also the artists? Sorry to interrupt.
No,
you.
absolutely. Go ahead.
Also, the artists here have the opportunity to sell their work. All the members, and so we have a store back there that is only artists that are part of our trade shop, and they get most of the profit from. They get 80% of whatever is sold, and we sell a lot of art.
Yeah.
And I hear a lot of trade shop members saying, you know, I've made more than what my dues were.
That's awesome.
And you know, because part of my job is to oversee the budgets and look at all the financials. And we did determine the other day that we are paying. There's more artist payout than going out than the membership fees. So I think that's another way to support this idea of wellness and creativity, and being able to support our artists for being creative and then getting the acknowledgement and really even more subsidizing their.
Yeah, the wellness and creativity, that's something that you're very specifically passionate about. I know you and I have had a number of conversations off-site about that. And based on what you guys were saying earlier, a lot of what you guys are targeting towards are some of like the first responders, so that they have a place to just kind of defrag. Why is that so important to you guys?
It's
Like, what's that connection point?
Personal connection for you.
This one's definitely, this is a personal one.
You know, I received my master's degree in social work back in 1995. I'm really dating myself. And I'm also a photographer. And over the years, when I made the time and the space to be creative, it really helped me retain myself in my profession.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, now that I've moved away from being a direct service and working here, I've found even more opportunities in space to do my art and to feel creative. And it's really helped me sort of heal from the burnout post-pandemic. And so it got me really thinking about how this, and Chris was able to coin this phrase of wellness and creativity as an idea that whether you have like a long-term experience with an art or if you're new, I really think that being around other people that are creating, having a community, having this idea of a third space, and a place where you can connect and also be creative, and having culture, really, I think, will help people, you know, stay in their professions. And so that piece of these grants that I'm writing and this idea of wellness, I think, is really a broader idea of supporting Adams County, because if we can keep our teachers teaching and our healthcare folks working in our community, then it's going to not only help their wellness, but it's also going to help the teachers in the schools support their students better and not feel burnt out. People can go home to their families after they're working and feel like they still have something left in them to be with their families. And, you know, once again, to support this idea of Waldo's being a third space, this is another place where people can go aside from home and work, where they can connect and feel.
It's a place to just rejuvenate. And I think that kind of goes back to the question I had earlier, is like, what would this community look like if Waldo's wasn't here? And I think you just answered that question right there, is like, this is a place where people can rejuvenate themselves through art, through just being still, because we live in a society that is just go, 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 go all the time. And to be able to come and relax and reconnect and rejuvenate, like, that's such a big thing, to be able to replenish your creativity and then to be able to go back out and thrive. And like you said, your profession, in your home life, and your other creative spaces, so that you can continue to thrive as an individual. Like, there's such a huge ripple effect to that. So I think what you guys are doing here is absolutely amazing. So I have loved coming here every time. I always leave feeling very refreshed and excited about life. And it's a good thing. You guys got a really good thing going on here. I'm really excited to see what you guys are going to continue to do in the community. I know we've had some opportunities where we've talked more about mental wellness and like how art can kind of help replenish that. I think you just spoke at the farmers market the other day too. So like, you guys aren't just staying within your four walls here. You are very much still in the community. And that's really exciting. So
Right, we are working in some partnerships with Healthy Adams County. We've just established a new relationship with the Majestic. We are going to be having every Wednesday night over the summer, they have a classic movie series. So
nice.
Waldo's is having a happy hour from 6 to 7 every Wednesday before the classic movie. For the mocktail, we're going to do the mocktails an hour early to be able to have that continuation for connection with the arts, and including film, and be able to have people feel like they can connect, because you can't really talk during a movie.
Sure.
At least that's it.
nobody likes that. That's such a big no-no.
So people can meet up before the movie with their friends and connect with other people that are here in the space, and walk over across the street together to Majestic. And so we like that idea of being connected with other parts of the art community in Gettysburg, and be able to have this space as another space that people can come to and go there.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a safe place and a creative space. So really, really awesome. What else do you guys have going on upcoming that you guys maybe want to talk about at all? Like maybe some,
We've got a
what are
lot of great events coming up.
Okay, let's talk about that for a second. What are some events that are coming up?
Oh, I'm excited about the Pride Dance Party. So we always partner with Gettysburg Pride, and we do an all-ages dance party here.
Nice.
So it's substance-free, and it's super fun.
I do not dance.
We hired an amazing
Bring a
DJ.
great DJ for that, and it's a good time.
Plenty of volunteer opportunities.
Yeah.
And when is that?
That is the May 31st. Thank you, May 31st. That's going to be great. And then the next day we have an artist rummage sale, which is kind of fun. We sit out in the alley, and our artists, they bring out some of their old works or even art supplies that they want to sell.
Right.
So it's intentionally
Just kinda
like
declutter.
yep, get some of that work out there, make sure it's pretty cheap. So it's all stuff under $50 and whatnot. That's kind of fun. Our birthday show is coming up in June. I don't remember when that is.
June 14th.
Thank you, June around then.
I just
Yep.
wrote the sign up sheet.
There we go.
So is there going to be cake? I gotta
There
know.
will probably
Yes.
there will be cake.
There will be cake
Yes.
and cupcakes.
Absolutely.
Hopefully.
Gotta have cake.
And we always have an artist reception on First Friday. So
Okay.
from 6 to 8, we always feature a new artist in the gallery. And then we'll have some hors d'oeuvres, and the artist will be here to meet.
So
That's
fancy.
always fun. We're trying to be fancy for a minute. It's a lot of fun. That's kind of cool.
Awesome. That's super exciting.
And then we also have open mic night.
Open mic night, yep, every last Friday of the month.
Yep.
And we're partnering with a new organization.
Except for the 31st.
Oh, not that one? Okay.
That's Pride Dance.
Yes, yeah, not that one. You can come for it, it's just going to be very different. And then we're partnering with an organization called the Hartley Residence, which is an artist in residency program starting in Biglerville. I'm pretty
Okay.
excited about it. It's a young group of people doing that. And we're partnering with them. They have a studio here, and we have some partner memberships. And they are hosting workshops with us every last Thursday of the first Thursday of the month. We'll get that.
And some of them are here and some of them are at their farm.
Yeah. So you can always check our social media or Instagram for most current events.
Yeah, you guys are pretty up to date on your Facebook and your Instagram. You can also go onto your website, which off the top of my head is blanking.
Waldo'sandCo.com.
Okay. There you can find current events that are going on. You can also find the menus that, for the most part, are pretty up to date. And
You can also apply to become a member of the trade shop or get on
Okay.
the artist wait list for the
Or become a
studios.
donor.
or become a donor. You also
Or
have
get a
your
coffee subscription.
coffee
All
subscription.
of these things.
We're in trouble now. The coffee subscription. Yeah, that's exciting. So there's a lot of really great information that you could find at waldoandco.com. So if you have more questions about what is Waldo's and where is Waldo's, you can always check that out or stop in at the shop. The hours in operation you said are 10 to 10
a.m. to 10 p.m. every day but Tuesday.
Every day but Tuesday. So make a point to stop in, check out the fantastic arts. They've got books, they've got photos, they've got paintings, they've got just a place to rejuvenate and refresh and thrive. So make a point and check out the Waldo's & Co. and see what it's about. All right, guys, thank you so much for this opportunity to
you.
just kind of
Absolutely,
talk.
yeah.
And I'm excited to see where you guys go as a business, as a nonprofit, and the impact that you guys have in the community. So thank you again
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thanks for coming by.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Thanks.